This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Now this is my boomstick! Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Parasite Eve. Some little bonus content and onwards to the final, little extra stuff in the game. Right now I'm back at day 5 before the no turning back point, and I've grabbed myself a whole delicious amount of junk in my trunk. I'm never going to get tired of doing that. But anyway, I've collected 300, so let's go ahead and give that to Wayne, just to show off what happens when you do. Grab it all. Yeah, luckily it goes by a little bit faster than it should, which is good for me. So I got quite a bit of junk parts now. I could probably whip up a whole gun from them. So what's your favorite, Aya? So you have a few options on how to do this. So each weapon will have its own. Well, the junk weapon is not the best gun in the game, but it gets pretty close, except for what you get in the Chrysler building, which is the last little dungeon of the game. Every weapon has their own benefits. For the most part, the main weapons will have basically really high pure stats with maybe a unique ability or two attached to them. Or you can leave it up to Wayne. Now the problem with leaving it up to Wayne is he won't give you the best weapon. The only benefit to maybe doing that is you get access to a skill sooner than you would possibly than going through the Chrysler Tower. I think there's an ability called critical up that you don't get in any main guns, and if you leave it up to Wayne, he can give you one of 5 different guns, I believe, that have different stats on it, but they're initially weaker than all the other guns. For the most part, I usually tend to choose the machine gun, but I wanted to show off what each of the weapons give you when you do it. So let's have Wayne show off what the handgun looks like, and then just have to wait for him to build it all up. So, now this is a good gun. You can count on this one. And what do we get? We get the DE50AE7. Man, that's a mouthful. But look at those base stats. Holy crap. What do we get for our basic weapon by the end of the game? I think it was 60 or something like that. So it's double whatever the base attack is. So whenever you take this gun into New Game Plus, you're going to wreck everything in the game until you get to the Chrysler Tower. Even all the bosses will go down. A lot of them will go down a couple of shots, especially if you build it up, with double action and all that other stuff. And in this case, the pistol just gets the ×2 and just gets a ton of open spots. So it gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it gets 8 slots. So you can pretty much put whatever you want on it, and that's pretty much it. But that's a solid choice just because of the speed of it. So, and unfortunately, obviously, we can only get one junk weapon, and the earliest you can get the junk weapon is day 4. If you do it before that, Wayne won't give it to you, or he says he's still working on it, something like that. So, all right, so that's the gun there. So I'll be right back, and I'll show you what the shotgun is. All right, we're back. Let's show off what the shotgun does. So let's discard the chunk again. Yeah, unfortunately we have to go through the whole process every time, but luckily it doesn't take too long to do that. I doubt I'm going to make much progress in this game, or this episode. I might start the Chrysler building, but I just want to show off some of the extra stuff in the game. So now we can show them what the shotgun is. And really the benefit with the shotgun, really its big thing is it starts out with burst. So if you never got burst or messed with it during the main game, that's a viable option, but I don't know if I'd choose it as my main weapon, but anyway, yeah, it doesn't get as many armor slots or mod slots, but you can find trading cards or mod permits to do that. And yeah, the base stats for it are still, at least the attack stat is still double what you get in the main game. It just doesn't have a high bullet rate, which can be kind of annoying for loading, which is why I usually don't choose this one. I usually choose the machine gun or the handgun if I choose either one. So, all right, so that's the shotgun. So let's show off the other weapon. All right, once again, into the breach as we show off the other weapon here. So let's discard our junk. Just throw it at him. Just take my junk away. I'm trying to think of some other junk references. Junk Planet, Junk Rapture. I don't know. Anyway, let's. I'll show the machine gun lashes because that's the one I grabbed. So, but let's show off the rifle this time. Really, the big thing about the rifle is the range you can get for it. But the thing is, when you do new game or EX mode, you can easily give yourself enough range to have a rifle um, with bonus like bonus points and stuff like that. But anyway, let's show it off. So we get the MAG rifle. Yeah, look at the range on that thing. That basically is going to hit everything on screen. Although you don't really need 185 range for that. You could probably go with like maybe 120, 130 to cover the rest of the game pretty much. But yeah, the mag basically hits the whole screen. It's got a decent amount of bullets and attack. The attack isn't as that's actually quite a bit more too, so that's a solid option as well. And the big thing about the rifle is it's got the critical up. That's you see the pistol shooting and the thing up. That means it raises your critical chance, so the yellow numbers pop up more often if you shoot with it. So that's one viable thing to do, is just choose that and then change like how many shots it gives. But the problem with the rifle is it's slow. So, but well, not a bad choice. But anyway, let's show off the rocket launcher. All right, back again. Then back again, Wayne, into the gun place, into the gun store. Like most Americans, they're just always back in that gun store, man. Gotta buy more guns. No, don't have a gun myself, so, but I don't behoo people who do, just in case, need a bit of protection. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a grenade launcher too. Let's show it off. The grenade launcher is too slow. It's similar to the rifle. That's another reason why I don't really choose I mean, when I first played the game, I chose it because it was just pure power, and I thought that would make up for it, but anyway, let's show off the thanks for this, Wayne. We get the HK40. HK40? I'd rather have a HK47, but yeah, okay range, okay amount of bullets, and yeah, the attack is weaker too. So it's like yeah, the grenade launcher is probably the worst of the weapons to choose, just because it just doesn't have the attack. I mean, the rifle beats an attack range. It's, I think, slightly faster than the grenade launcher anyway, and it doesn't have as many bullets. So, but still, that's a choice. So, all right, now that we've shown off the HK weapon, let's show off the rocket launcher. All right, let's blow something up with the RPG. With this one. Oh yeah, I never did show the rocket launcher in the main storyline. I'm gonna have to show that off at some. Actually, you know what? I think I'll show it off, since that's one of the last weapons. I'll show off how the attack power works, and I want to show you how I got all the junk in the first place. So, so let's show off the rocket launcher, and then I'll show off the random one. That I can't show off all of them because it's random what Wayne will give you. So, but I'll show off at least one of them just to show the difference on them. So. Now, if we choose the junk rocket, we get the Law 80. Look at that attack power, 200. So that's even more than any of the other weapons in the game. Just, it's slow, and it hits everything on screen, and only one bullet. But, that's cool either way. So, well, let's go ahead and equip it just to show the difference, compare the two differences. Holy crap. Yeah, that's my best weapon in the game, and yet, here we go. This rocket just blows out of the water. Do I actually have rockets in my... Yeah, I do. Okay, I can show it off, actually. So, let's head on to the park, which is where I did all my junk collecting, for those who maybe didn't mention it or forgot about it from a previous episode, because I mentioned it way back a long time ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if you forgot about it. Oh, I also wanted to show like a little extra thing if you go into the park after the events of the park, because I showed you what happens in Carnegie Hall after you get to the park, but I never showed or Carnegie Hall after the events of that. I never showed you what happens if you go back to the park afterwards. And it's a little bit too late now. Actually, I'm trying to remember the saves before a certain point. It might be afterwards. I think it is. But let's see if Maid is still at the hospital. Because if you... Yeah, he's still there. So if you don't do the clump scene where you have to jump out of the building, the Maid is still here at the hospital the whole time. So he's been waiting even after we left because of the giant spider and everything like that, he's still here. So thank goodness you're safe. And that's it. So I don't... It's kind of weird that they still stuck his model here. But yeah, he stays here, I guess, until he pops up at the museum later on. So yeah, there's quite a few places like that. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing in Soho or Chinatown that I've seen. So neither is the subway. So let me show you Central Park now. Yeah, this whole episode's probably just gonna be like little things, nothing big. But I want to show you off. Yeah, there's a policeman here, and there's a different camera angle from before. So there ain't no sign of Eve, but the animals from the zoo are still on the loose. Oh, yeah, that's why you can still get attacked by animals while you're here. So yeah, there's still the snakes and actually really the snakes and the crows are the ones you're going to be fighting the most of, um, out of all the creatures, because the like the monkey creatures don't really well, they're actually okay, they are technically there when you're grinding for the junk. They're going to be in the junk fight because I never beat it. So the reason why why when I got there at that point in the game, the reason I never actually fought the battle is I wanted to make it a guarantee spot to drop the monsters, because every time you fight in an area, it reduces its percentage chance of actually activating without you leaving the screen. So if I had fought in it, it would only been like, I think like 50-50. I could be wrong. I've never actually like decoded the game, and there's so much from what I'm aware of, there's so much conflicting info about this game. It's kind of weird, actually. You would think with the game being out as long as it has, you think there'd be yeah, you can see the big old rocket in our arm. So, and unfortunately we are super slow with this rocket too. Like, it's ridiculous how slow it is. I'm gonna have to cut haste just to use the dang thing. This is why it's not, look at, even with haste, look how slow this thing is. Man, it is definitely not worth it. So, but let me show it off. Yeah, see, almost goes off screen. Boom! Yeah, hits like, I mean, the thing does hit everyone in a, oh yeah, you take the junk there. But it does hit a group of people within that range, so it's not like it's just so slow. It just doesn't work, you know? That's all. It's one of those things you use once to be cool, but that's it, so. Okay, and I already showed off shooting with all the other weapons in the game, so I don't have to do that. But yeah, let's go back to, yeah, so we just go to this spot here. And actually, let me show off just me showing off stealing it, if I can. It's not guaranteed, that's the problem. But it didn't take too long. It took me like maybe 3 hours to collect all the junk. But yeah, this fight will always, because I never finished it, it's always going to be guaranteed. And yeah, you attack the crows, and that's why I got lucky in that, even though I don't actually need it. And then you just run away. Boom. There you go. And that's all you have to do. And that gets you the junk, and you just do that for, and obviously when you do it, you want to make sure you're at like whatever level has the most room, and make sure to take everything out of your inventory that you're not using, just to take as much as you can. And there you go. So, all right, now that we've done that, I'll head back to Wayne to show off what happens if you choose the weapon that he wants, or that you want. And yeah, like I said, it's like 5 or 6 different guns Wayne can give you if you decide to let him choose. But in the most part, I don't think it's that necessary. By the time you get to the Chrysler building, you'll probably get the gun you want anyway to modify it to your specs. But I just want to show off like one of them. I think there's some guides online that show like all the variations that you can get. Like I said, 5 or 6 different versions, and it's like a handgun, machine gun. But anyway, so you have what Wayne decide. He gives us the USP TU. I think that's actually the worst weapon, worst junk weapon you can get, actually, if I recall. But this one has, oh, I forgot what the name of that ability is. Let me look it up really quick. Let's see. That is the counterattack enemy ability. So what that means, as soon as you get attacked, you immediately you immediately shoot them when you do it. So not a bad ability. It's not one I would use regularly, but that's something to consider. So okay, so one more time, I'll show off the machine gun. And the reason I'm showing off is because I'm gonna heavily customize it by the time I get to it. So we'll show off what the machine gun is, and then go from there. All right, and now we're going to show off the, like I said, I don't know if it's the best weapon. I just like how fast the machine gun is when it comes to like shooting, as well as how fast it is to load. Well, actually, I think technically the handgun is a little bit faster when it comes to like your ATB bar filling up, but I prefer the machine gun. But like I said, that's more personal choice on that one, really. It's all up to you. Because if you give it the handgun, the burst ability, it'll do the same thing as the machine gun, so. Alright, let's show off what we get here. So the junk machine gun is the P90. Yeah, look at that. Look how many bullets that thing holds. And it shoots 10 times, although it divides the total damage into 10. That's usually, and it takes a while for 10 to go. That's usually why I'll give it like a times 3, times 2, whatever, somewhere on that line. So it seems reasonable to shoot, but not divide the damage up too much. But yeah, a decent amount of attack, 120-20. Range is okay, but you can beef that up with bonus points between episodes. And 200 bullets, and another interesting ability, which I'll show you, because that ability that looks there, you think that's random shot. It's actually not random shot in this version. It's attack all enemies with rate of fire. So what that means, so this works, attack all enemies works better if it's 10, because what it does, it hits all enemies within your circle of range, but it hits them within a 10 shot. So if there was 10 enemies within the range, it hit each of them once. And obviously if there's 2, it would divide between the 2, 5 for one and 5 for the other. I prefer burst, because then it actually hits them at the same time. If attack all enemies, well, it'll attack one person, switch, attack, switch, and that type of thing. So I usually end up getting rid of that and putting burst on it instead. And but that's up to you. But so it's not a bad ability. It's just I think burst is a bit more effective. So yeah, I'm gonna heavily customize this. So all right. So next I'm gonna show you how to get in how EXE mode actually works. So let me change the discs and start the game back up again, and I'll show you that. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back here at the entrance here. So like before, you just watch the cutscene and whatever. Then you press start. And did I ever actually go over the tutorial? You know what? Actually, let me show that off before we do the rest of the game, because I should have shown this at the beginning, but I didn't think it was absolutely necessary. But since this is a whole just a bonus to get ready for the Chrysler building thing, I just want to show it off. So it just tells you how to play the game, and basically what it does is when you click on it, it just does like when you during the game, the one or few times I actually showed a tutorial, it just shows like a menu on how to like interact with things, the buttons, starting, activating menus, skipping things, and all that. Also didn't show off the concept art that's on as well. Oh yeah, it just shows if you're using either analog mode or controller mode. So yeah, back in the day, you could in PS3, PS1, PS2, and no, PS3 didn't have that. PS1 and PS2, you could actually, I think it was only the PS1. I think there's certain PS2 controllers had it where you could choose either use analog or not by pressing a button in the center as it shown there. But most modern controllers just automatically have it now, and you change it via the control. But I also want to show the concept art behind there. It shows Aya just in a pose. If I remember correctly, I think it's the English version. That's actually drawn by Tetsuya Nomura, who I think he worked on the character designs for this game. He also directed I think he directed Final Fantasy VII, or maybe he worked on the character designs, but he's worked at Square for a long time. And he's more known for like Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. But for the longest time, he did the concept art for a lot of characters or character designs. Like Final Fantasy VII is his. I think he did some for Final Fantasy VI, I believe. Not everyone, but I just wanted to show off the artwork there. You can find clearer versions of it online, I believe. Tetsuya Nomura is a very interesting director, but he is very scatterbrained when it comes to like his ideas, because I swear you have to, from what I understand about him, you have to keep him focused at all times. Otherwise, it'll take him 7 years to work on a game and never actually finish it, which is what Final Fantasy Versus happened. But anyway, yeah, if you get to the main menu, and if you have a save file with an EX file on it, you just push EX game, and then you have to look for the file that says EX on it. So choose file number 2. So I think the top one is when I think the top one is after, yeah, that's when I ground for the junk weapon. So the top one is when I beat the main game. So let's show off the loading time in this. So I think it's gonna have to go through like the cutscene and everything like that again. So we're gonna do the power of fast forwarding through editing. So so I just want to show my character really quick. So it's fun fast forwarding through stuff. So all right, yeah, we just see Aya go into the Carnegie Hall again. I'll play this part for a little bit, but I don't want to spend the whole time in this episode. I just want to show like how easy it is to wreck everyone with a gun. Oh, and when Wayne set up, oh yeah, we're just gonna leave her. I've heard in the Japanese version you can actually set Aya's name to either Japanese or English. While in the English version they took out the ability to put it in Japanese, so which is fine, whatever. Probably because maybe the console they didn't want to use the memory capacity to have that too. But when Wayne said he wanted to store your stuff for later, what he was doing is he does actually store your everything in your locker for the next game. Oh yeah, look at the bonus points. We got 3,000, and every day in between the look at that. Oh right, so this is what we started at the beginning of the game, right? 12, 51, 6, got the club, and boom, freaking my machine gun with 200 bullets, 184 attack, 65 range. Now this isn't the complete. I do have a file that I'm working on right now. I should be done by the time we get to this. That has not completed, but a lot better. Then we can switch our armor out. Boom. So 74. Yeah, I didn't do much for the armor, but we will be doing that if we want to do the Chrysler building. We do have to actually beef that up quite a bit. So, and we just have to go through this story. Really, actually, I just want to show that off. So, I probably might skim through the, fast forward through all the cutscene parts of it, and maybe even the opera scene. Maybe we'll see what. Although for the, I have to fast forward through the cutscenes because just you can't skip those. But in the dialogue, I can just press the button like really quickly and do that. So. Yeah, we see how it all began. Over there's Melissa, who's been Eve is inside her body right now, just waiting to get out, just waiting to have fun. She's been holding on for however many years when she was taking the medicine, quote unquote. It is interesting playing the game now, knowing what you're about to expect and what's going to happen. You know, like in this whole time, Eve was just waiting. Now, why was I think. Oh yeah, did they ever explain why Eve waited till now to pop up during this fight? I think it's because the introduction of Aya. I don't know if the game ever straight up says it, but I think Eve noticed or had a connection because of Maya. Eve noticed Aya being there, and so she sprung her. Or you could have said this is when her power is at her peak, and she did. But I think it's because Aya was there and their connection to each other that maybe she had enough power to finally go, okay, now I can just explode onto the scene and do whatever I was gonna take over not take over the world per se, but get rid of humanity and only make herself on top or whatever. That's why I'm assuming the game never straight up says, which is fine. I don't need a game to spoon feed me every single plot points. I think I can put two and two together, or at least have a general consensus of how it works. Unfortunately, it's a big difference to most modern games or titles where they have to spell everything out to you, where a lot of media is like that too, and I kind of okay, time to skip again. We don't want to hear her singing. Okay. And sorry, I just want to hear that sound effect again of of the boyfriend, or I guess the friend, because I guess it was never boyfriend, it's just a guy at work that kept bugging her, just smacking over the side using a basic stock sound effect. Kind of like the squeaky door. I think online there's quite a few royalty-free or stock sound effects you can find. In a lot of movies, you can tell a movie is somewhat cheap when they use certain lines or use certain sound effects on them. You're like, oh, I've heard that before. It's like how everyone uses the Wilhelm scream, which I like the Wilhelm scream, but you kind of almost turn your movie into a joke when you hear it because everyone knows what it's from. So at that point, you're like, okay, use the Wilhelm scream. You must be a comedy. But watch as we just beat. Well, we're gonna beat her instantly, but boom. Yeah, remember that fight? I forgot how many shots I had to give her in the last fight. I think I had to shoot her 3 or 4 times originally to knock her out. In this case, I just boom, one shot immediately ends the fight because we already beat her. So, but anyway, yeah, she's telling us about her. She gave us, I guess, because this is the time where, since we're in contact with these specifically or really close proximity, that's where we get our psychic abilities or whatever you want to call it. We get hot with power. Hot with power. Super hot. And yeah, we have the scene. I think that's supposed to be Maya in that placement, and then, or maybe that's Aya, and then the girl who pops up in there that chose Maya before. I assume this is before the surgery, getting the what'd she say? It was a liver transplant, I think, or something like that, or oh no, cornea. Sorry, I don't know why I said the liver. No, Maya got the liver transplant. That's right. which had Eve inside of it, or her cells were inside of it. So let's just jump on in here just to show off. Now, yeah, we hear our backup. But I already showed you the trick that you can get extra ammo. Although at this point, obviously, I don't need to do it anymore. And I guess the idea of this little girl is supposed to be Maya, just maybe from inside of Eve, trying to communicate with Aya, showing her the way or something like that. It's kind of hard to say, really, at this point. But I assume that's who that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Maya just saying, hey, sis, I'm kind of alive in spirit, sort of. But too bad. I mean, I bet if this game was made today, I bet they would give you the ability to unlock outfits for Maya or Aya. So you could, like, for example, if this game was made today, I bet they would unlock the ability to have Aya be in her night dress the whole time, which I would have liked that. Yeah, just anyway, we're gonna wreck this guy in one shot. Boom. Yeah. Just unfortunately, we do start at level 1 when we play the game again, so there's not much we can do, but we just have to level up. But I would still suggest basically fighting everything on the way there, so by the time you get to the Chrysler building, you should be at a decent level. Oh yeah, I probably should show you how we're going to do bonus points. So the way I would suggest it is, on bonus points, I would suggest putting your bonus point active time, since we're not going to since this file, I'm not going to replay the game again after I beat it. So this is the point where I actually do want to use active time on this. So the idea I want to do is, I'd say get your active time to 60 above whatever your levels are. And I usually use the item capacity of it. So if I can get active time to 61, for example, and item capacity is 1, that's where I want to leave it at, because then you get 1 active time up per level. So we should max that out by the time we get to a decent part of the Chrysler building, so that way we're going as fast as we can. After you do that, I would say get your base attack bonus on your main weapon to 200 or 200 plus, at least before you enter the Chrysler building. And then by the end of the Chrysler building, we want to have our attack total at 300. And then for the armor, you want to get your armor up to, we'll start working on that, but you want to get to 200 by the time you get to the middle of the Chrysler building, because that way you won't actually be taking like a crap ton of damage. Because you will be, the first 30 floors of the Chrysler building aren't too bad, but after that it does get a lot more difficult. I thought this was the room where we get the key. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been so long since. Oh yeah, this is supposed to basically parrot the idea that her cells are, causing people to burst on fire. Maybe it was I could have swore it was that room. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it was this one. I know it was one of these rooms. I guess I've shown everything I can from this. I guess the idea was just to show off the fights and everything, and like how different it is comparatively. So yeah, I guess we'll leave it here. I just wanted to show off what happens when you get when you beat like a day really quickly, so you can show out the bonus points, because you get a lot of bonus points on EX mode, but if you don't save period during the fight, you'll actually get like a lot more bonus points. And it was the same in the main game too, but it wasn't as much. But that's the benefit, is if you don't save, then boom. So you know what, actually I'm gonna beat the game. I'm gonna beat day 1. I just want to show you what the bonus points are for doing that. So so I'll be right back. Oops, actually let me go into a room that loads. So okay, before we finish the game, I thought I'd show off how easy it is to beat like some of the bosses here. So this is the one where you had to hit the guy in the tail, right? So that's the first round. Yeah, I just like almost instantly. And then the second form is going to be just as fast. So interesting enough about this boss, at least this version of the boss, he's actually weak to sedatives, which means he won't die via his AI script. Watch, see, like I'm going to put just a bunch of bullets into him. Yeah, see, he's not dying because he's still sedated. I'm sedated! So we actually have to wait for his sedate to wear off before he actually dies. Because I guess being sedated glitches the AI or boss AI or something like that. So it doesn't let it die until the sedative wears off, which is might happen. Yeah, every time you gain a level, you get quite a bit bonus points too. especially on EX mode, because they're basically preparing you for the Chrysler building. So we'll just play the little rest of it off. That won't take me very long to get to the day, and then I'll show you the Chrysler building. Yeah, there's the news reporter gonna bug Aya. So I keep saying Aya or Aya throughout the whole game. I don't think I ever stuck on what the appropriate, like her appropriate pronunciation is. I think it is supposed to be Aya, but I don't know if he's blown into his fist or if he did the cough like him type of thing, but I'm not sure. I think he's supposed to be coughing as in like, hey buddy, she's clearly distressed or something, so you better lay off, that type of thing. But I still think that's kind of funny. Just and you can tell, Daniel is definitely supposed to be kind of that old school aggressive cop, the back in the day, that type of thing, or like Murtaugh, or I'm too old for this shit, that type of guy. I was always a fan of. I think was Murtaugh. It's been forever since I've seen Lethal Weapon. I'll just say Donald Glover's character, or Donald Glover, Danny. Man, what's wrong with me? Anyway, let's do some speed up on this one too. So you can't really skip this. So, all right, day 2. So I just wanted to show off how many. Yeah, look at all those bonus points we get. Like, what do we have before at 500? We get like 800 bonus points, but before I think it was like 100 or something like that. So man, that's a major difference. So okay, so before we end it, I'll show one more thing. So I'll cut to that. So okay, so we're at day 2. After we deal with the whole police thing and we get the mod permit from Baker. But yeah, we can go to the Chrysler building at any time during day 2 and onward. And probably the idea for this is you do like maybe the Chrysler building can be done in levels of 10. Oh, I probably should have shown it. I'll just show it off when I start doing the Chrysler building officially. But it's 10. It's you have to go through 10 levels at a time. It's randomly generated, and I think the idea is you start off the game, you do like day 2, do like maybe 10 levels of the Chrysler building, do the plot, then come back and do another 10, that type of thing. Obviously, I'm going to do it back to back on day 5 when everything's done. And then this elevator here can't be accessed right now. Oh yeah, it says I guess I need a key. So what we have to do is we have to go through the tower 10 floors. Then we get a key to go back down to the first floor so we can actually save it. So luckily it's a bit nicer than some other procedurally generated dungeons, especially in the PS1, 2, and 3 era where, sometimes it'd make you play like hours before you actually got back to a save point, which hopefully your power didn't go out. So what is the Chrysler building like? Will I find all sorts of creepy crawlies here? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Parasite Eve. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.